This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.
Adam Hamilton with you, and what an amazing, I guess 3 or 4 days of harness racing we've got ahead with the Queensland Championship, a really good meeting we'll look at Melton in just a moment, Kilmore Cup on Sunday, and then the build-up towards the New Zealand Cup. And Aussie flavour in it as well with the Ashburton Flying Stakes on Monday. The couple of meetings we'll have a look at in depth are certainly Melton. We're going to focus on the quaddie legs, and also we will have a good look at the Kilmore Cup meeting on Sunday. But let's get into this program coming up at Melton tonight. There's a couple of races in the middle of the meeting. Obviously the talent is spread, with Sunday's meeting effectively being of metropolitan quality as well. But let's get into this program at Melton, and as I said, we'll focus on the quaddie legs, and that quaddie starts with race 4. It's actually a pretty thin race to start with. I think there's only the 2 winning chances in Our Warwick Lad, who's got race fitness on his side, and also the promising Hugh, who is resuming from a spell. I'm going to go with Our Warwick Lad because of that race fitness, but Hugh could potentially control the race if he was able to go across and get to the lead. Our Warwick Lad has been a model of consistency this campaign. His young driver Josh Aiken has made an immediate impact in the driving ranks in only a few months in the sulky, and I think he's got a pretty good rapport with Our Warwick Lad, and this gives him a chance to come to town at Melton, albeit a country front race, and get on the board. He's got the claim, the horse gets in well, back row draw doesn't worry me so much. He'll be very strong when it matters, Our Warwick Lad. Putting him on top. Got a lot of respect for Hugh, who showed a lot of potential last time in work, this Kiwi bred. Trained by, to be driven by Anne-Marie Conroy here. Does come from a relatively wide draw, but should be able to work forward, has gate speed. Goes into this off the back of a really eye-catching and impressive Bendigo trial win. So going 10, Our Warwick Lad with the race fitness to beat number 6 Hugh. I think one of the 2 will win, which I'll explain more when I get to our quaddie summary. Next best, I'm Noddy. Former Kiwi, he has drawn the back row. Look, he's no star, but he could be competitive in this sort of class. And Obama now gets my 4th selection nod. Kahala was going to be a major player and one of the 3 winning chances, but its scratching means that the race thins out. I have put Obama from outside of the front row in as my 4th selection. My numbers there in race 4, 10 to beat 6, 9 and 7. Let's go to race 5 tonight, second leg of the quaddie at Melton. And this is a pretty good race. There's a couple of really good... This is, to me, as strong a race as we've got on the program. A couple of these horses will end up in better races, particularly now the pennies drop with GK Galleon. I like GK Galleon to win here, to beat Alchemy. I think they're the 2 major chances, but Saab Quality and also Narrow Operative from back row draws will be right in the mix as well. It's 22.40 metres. GK Galleon has shown some tremendous signs this campaign. Was most impressive finding the front and dominating to win last time. I'm going to put it on top. GK Galleon for Michelle Manning, Grant Campbell to take the drive. I think this horse is absolutely reaching a career peak right now. Alchemy's got wonderful gate speed, will be fitter for that first up run from a spell, and is definitely well graded in a race like this. Has got that wide draw to overcome. Then we go to the back row runners. Saab Quality, who was mind-blowing winning at Ballarat 3 starts back. The runs have been good without, but getting carried away since. It's got to be in the mix. And just ahead of it in 3rd spot, I put in Narrow Operative, who returned to winning form 2 starts back after some good performances, and certainly wasn't disgraced when 4th in a pretty good race last time out. Also giving some sort of chance to number 5, Empty Envelope here. It could be a roughie to include in your quaddies. I'm going 6, 7, 10 and 9 in race 5. 6 to beat 7, 10 and 9. Let's go to race 6 now. Well, this is another good race, this one for the trotters. And I'm going for value in this race. All campaign, I've been waiting for signs that Retained, who had a really good last campaign, was getting back to his best. Obviously, he's just needed a lot of racing to do so. I think the signs have been there in the last couple of runs, and I think Retained at good value each way odds can be very, very hard to beat tonight. The standing start would arguably suit better. It is the mobile though, and he's drawn quite nicely. So I'm expecting around the $6, $7, $8 mark for retained, and he'll be getting mine on an each-way basis from barrier 2. Now, Brief Glance has got all the ability in the world. Easily the best trotter in this race. A former Vic Bred final winner. Went totally AWOL for a while and was doing a lot wrong in its races, but has been pretty consistent this campaign and is very well graded here. Maybe sitting behind Retained and Sprint Laning could be an absolutely world perfect trip if Brief Glance can get into that position. Brief Glance, what's also interesting is that one of the other major players in the race, Bryland Crescent, who would have been favourite had it drawn the front row, has drawn inside of the back row and could potentially be buried 3 back on the inside if trainer driver David Aiken stays to the marker pegs. I have put it in for third though. On ability it would be as hard to beat as any and would have been my top pick from a front row draw. And Michael Thomas is just an honest trotter these days. Did enough to win in a moderate sort of race 2 starts back, and the third last time out is certainly good enough to be competitive here. 2 ahead of 1, 8 and 9 in a good trotters race. 2, 1, 8 and 9 race 6. That's the third leg of the quaddie. The last leg of the quaddie is an absolutely ripping race. Sadly robbed of one of the major players in Regal Knight, who was a scratching earlier on today, but it still leaves us with a fascinating race. We've got the speedy and talented Selsmo, who is sure to be favourite, and the former Tasmanian, a very, very tough customer in Hugo Play, was transferred to Lance Justice's stable after a most recent win at Melton, and an incredibly tough win it was. I'm actually going to go with Hugo Play here. Selsmo's speedy, and we'll get all the favours from the draw, but I think Hugo Play will go further in its career than Selsmo. I think it's got more strength and more upside to it, and at what could be the value odds over Selsmo, who will be pretty short tonight, I'm going to go for number 6, Hugo Play, to beat Selsmo. Little chances to Freemason, who should get a nice drag through from the back row draw. It's drawn 2 out and will follow Selsmo out. Should end up somewhere midfield in the running line. And Give Us a Grin is just ultra consistent. Finds it hard to win and doesn't have the class of Hugo Play and Selsmo, but from the draw should be right in the finish. So in a pretty thin race, I think either 6 or 2 will win. I'm going 6, 2, 9 and 4 in race 7, the last leg of the quaddie. Let's have a look at the summary now for Melton tonight, going with best bets, value and my suggested quaddie. I'm pretty keen on GK Galleon. I think it'll be decent value tonight as well. In race 5, number 6, GK Galleon, my bet of the night for Michelle Manning and Grant Campbell. Best roughie, well, more a value bet than a roughie, I guess, because Hugo Play won't be favourite against Selsmo, and that'll be enough to attract me to have a crack at him. Race 7, number 6, Hugo Play. Having a look at the quaddie, in the first leg, race 4, I'm going to narrow it down to the 2 main chances in number 6, Hugh, and number 10, Our Warwick Lad. As mentioned, I'm going to go wide in race 5, popping in numbers 5, 6, 7, 9 and 10. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Race 6, the third leg for the trotters. I'm going to put in my 4 top selections, 1, 2, 8 and 9. That's 1, 2, 8 and 9. And we're going to come home the last leg with just the 2 favourites. Selsmo, who gets the good draw, and the one I'm keen on, number 6, Hugo Play, 2 and 6 in the last leg. That'll cost you $40 to get a 50% share. $40 for a 50% share there. All right, that's our look at Melton tonight. It's a tremendous program, and good luck if you're getting involved.
This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.